The E-mini Z pattern program comes with 3 Z pattern visualizer tools to help you go on a $1,500 to $2,500 profit run each session in the E-mini S&P 500 ES, the E-mini NASDAQ NQ, the E-mini Russell RTY, and the E-mini Dow YM. You'll have everything you need to go on a $1,500 to $2,500 profit run every time you sit down to trade. For now, I'm going to show you how the E-mini visualizer works using the E-mini S&P 500 ES. Later in the video, I will show you what it looks like in all other E-mini and E-micro markets. It all starts with the Z pattern visualizer, where the first step is to identify the most recent low and the most recent high of the chart, and then look for our Z pattern trade setup. To do that, go to the Z pattern visualizer. We'll click on it, add the pattern, and we see the pen is coming up. And then we simply draw from the most recent low to the most recent high, like so. Now let me tighten this in a little bit here. So now you see a couple of things on the chart. First, you see the Z pattern. It's as easy as connecting the low and the high, and the rest the visualizer will do automatically for you. Notice here the Z pattern low is at the low, the Z pattern high is at the high. The green box in the middle, this is our entry zone. And I'll talk about that in a second. There's a very thin green line here, just a couple of ticks over the entry zone. That is our initial profit target for our position. And then at the very top, you notice the green runner line. This is our initial position for our first runner contract. So the green box here tells us where to enter the initial trade if the market price hits the upper edge, which in this case would trigger our long entry. From the lower edge of the green box here is where we want to place our stop, where we always trade with a stop of 4 ticks. 4 ticks. Not more, not less. We always trade with a position size, which we can divide by 2, like 2 or 4 or 6 contracts. So we effortlessly get some initial profits fast and still have parts of our position that we can let run with the markets to cash in on a big runner targets with much lower risk. Now here's the second tool that you'll really love. We have a choice of making all the Z pattern trades manually by just going in here and manually placing the orders when the setup comes and finalizes, or we can auto execute everything with the Z pattern auto execution tool. Now watch how simple this is. See below here this button that says trade disabled? If I click on it, I could enable the auto execute trade. As soon as I do this, the pattern is activated. That means as soon as the market hits the edge of our long entry zone, the trade will be executed, and you can customize the initial stop, target, and runner contracts entries to your liking using the NinjaTrader Advanced Trade Management tool, which handles all the order processing directly from your chart. So by being hands-off in our entry execution of this pattern, we enter as easily as possible without any hesitation. And then, once we're in, we manually manage our runner contracts to capture the most profits we can. Let me show you really quick how easy this is, even for brand new futures traders. First, we'll speed up the market a little bit and then notice how we hit when it comes to the top of the green zone. It automatically enters our trade. And as fast as it went, we got our entry at 31.98 right there. Our stop was placed 4 ticks under the entry. So with just 4 ticks risked, and then we got our first profit target right away. It was basically in no time. You see our first runner target is sitting up here. And you can just take it and move it up to get the most out of it. Then we can also start moving our stop so the position is out of the risk. You see this is moving fast. What we want to do next is seek some help here with trailing our stop. That's where a multi-time frame trend detector comes in. Once you activate it like so, you see now there's a red and or green line. And this green trend line can act as a trailing stop for us. If we scroll the chart a little smaller here, and I move the runner up a little bit, remember here, I move the stop up a little so our position is out of the risk very quickly. And now when we speed up the market a little bit, we can see that this green trend line here is a perfect trailing stop for the entire time in the runner contract trade. So we just go ahead and adjust our target along the way to make sure we cash in for the biggest profits possible. And then we simply move our stop according to this line here to lock in gains. I'm going to move this a little more out here and notice how we just keep moving our stop, right? So that means we're not risking anything anymore. The more we move our stop, the more we also rescale our runner contract up. I'll run a contract a little bit here, And remember, we'll teach you everything you need to know how to do all of this with easy step-by-step videos about how to manage and use those runner contracts in the most efficient and profitable way. But you can already see how simple yet powerful this strategy and Z pattern visualizer makes things. You just move the stop and let the runner do its work as the market runs, just like we're doing while waiting for bigger cash in when we hit our runner target here. We'll just keep moving this up. Just keep it a tick or two behind this line, and I'll move this up a little bit more. And just keep adjusting it like I am here to get the most out of it. Okay, at this time we got our stop filled, which means we get stopped out of the position with a profit of $1,100 in just 3.5 hours of trading. This is the power of letting the Z pattern runners do all the work for you. By giving it enough room to cash in big time, yet protecting your risk with an initial 4-tick stop and smartly moving your stop along the way like we did here for $1,100. However, we're looking for ways to hit $2,500 or more. So here's just one of the ways that we'll teach you. Most of the time, there are second entry opportunities on the same move that you're trading. And unlike other strategies where if you show up late you lose, with the Z pattern visualizer, you have a very forgiving way to trade for big profits because it's so easy to find another entry for additional runners. So let me scroll this up a little bit and show you how easy this is from the same chart. What's great is you always use the same Z pattern and always use the same Z pattern setups I showed you earlier. You see, in this case, you would simply draw from the most recent low to the most recent high, if this here would be the far edge of the chart. You see, it's exactly the same setup at that moment you will draw. The pattern will give you all the intel and insights that you need. We'll get the fill right here. Same 4-tick stop. Same initial quick cash in and same initial first runner. And you can cash in on that one the same way. So even if you miss this one, you know it can be your secondary entry for the first trade. Or if you miss the first one, it can be a complete standalone entry and it gets even better. So even if you miss this one, you would just go on and take the next opportunity and you would draw it here. So this low, this high, and you see the next Z pattern entry setup coming here. So the exact same setup, same entry at the far edge of the long box, same 4-tick stop, and almost no heat on the trade. We're getting to our first target fast. We're getting to our first runner target fast. So you can see how flexible this is, can't you? You either take one trade and run with it or use the Z pattern over and over again in the same move. And it's that Z pattern and strategy we'll teach you is always the same. That makes it obviously so easy to execute, right? And here's the best part. The Z pattern visualizer and strategy works the exact same way in all your short trades. So here you see that the multi-time frame trend detector here is going from green to red. That means from here on out, you want to search for trading opportunities in the short direction. What do? That's right. You simply activate the Z pattern visualizer and draw the Z pattern from the most recent high to the most recent low at that point of time right here. Notice how you would have gotten a fill right here in a red entry zone. Then you would have gotten to your first initial small profit right away and cashed in. And from there on out, you would have managed your runner contract using the red trend line as your trailing stop here, and you have happily been stopped out all the way down here at 31.11. So trading just 3 runner contracts like we'll show you, you would have made $1,760 on this short trade. And here's the best part. Your entry would have been at 8:30, and your $1,760 in profits would fill your account less than 2 hours later at 10:15. Pretty amazing, right? And guys, remember what you saw here is exactly how it works in the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and Russell 2000 E-minis, with the only difference being either a 4, 5, or 6-tick stop we'll teach you to use every time to protect your account and make maximum profits. Let's take a look at an E-mini NASDAQ NQ chart. This is a 1,000-tick chart, but it will work the same on any time frame. Here we see a short Z pattern setup around 11:15 a.m. in the morning. We had an initial stop of 6 ticks. Shortly after entering, we cash in our first runner for $660 in profits, and then take another $1,340 in profits from our second runner target, all in just a little more than 1 hour. Pretty great way to start your day, right? Now let's take a look at an E-mini Dow YM 2-minute chart. Here we see a beautiful long Z pattern setup with a 5-tick stop. We entered shortly after market open and found two fantastic runner targets. The first one we cashed in after just 2 hours in the trade, and the second one we cashed in 30 minutes before the cash market closed, right around 3:30 p.m. Now take a look here at this E-mini Russell 2000 RTY 3-minute chart. This is another short Z pattern setup with just 4-tick stop loss that we took in the morning and cashed in on two runner targets. The first one just after about 50 minutes for $690 in profits, and the second one 2 hours later for $1,120 in profits. Now you're probably already starting to see how easy trading any E-mini with the E-mini visualizer will be for you, right? Because they'll use the exact same Z pattern setups and low risk stops on any time frame. And here where it gets even better. The Z pattern visualizer strategies and setups also work in all micro E-mini markets. The micro E-mini S&P 500 MES, the micro E-mini NASDAQ MNQ, the micro E-mini Russell M2K, and the micro E-mini Dow MYM. So you can go on even lower risk profit runs to grow a small account fast, or transition from simulation to live money E-mini Z pattern trading in the smartest, safest, lowest risk possible today. So now that you know and understand the tremendous advantage the Z pattern visualizer strategies setups can give you day trading any E-mini and any micro E-mini futures markets on any time frame that you want, it's time to get your copy before this special offer ends. So go ahead and claim yours right away.